Hey, it's Joe Crump. This is the last video in the Outrageous Claims series that I've been working on. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about outrageous claims and why I do them and what it means to you. Because my goal, I think, is as we go through this process together and you've heard all these videos, it'll give you a better understanding that maybe they're not so outrageous. And once you understand the trick behind the claim, it's like the magician. It's no longer magic. It's no longer outrageous. It's now very doable. It's very accessible, and it makes it very possible for you to go out there and build your own business, to build your own system, to use the things that I'm teaching in order to have the freedom, to have control of your life, to be able to reduce the hours that you work, to increase your income, to be able to make enough money on one deal, perhaps to live the entire year, or to do one deal a month and just pop in for a couple hours and make a phone call now and then. Once you develop the skills to do this, once you set the systems in place to do this, you can turn that into $100,000, $200,000, $500,000. And what that's going to do is going to lead you into some other methods where now you've got extra money. You're going to want to buy properties with cash as well. Don't go out and get loans. Stay away from loans. Stay away from lenders. They're a pain in the butt to work with, and they put you at the most risk, and they're the ones making all the profit. You want to be in the position where you're the one making the profit, where your money is going to buy down the payments on the property that you're doing. And those are the things that I try to teach in this. But you also need to give yourself time to succeed. No matter how outrageous the claims I make, the one thing that it always comes down to is, can you work as an entrepreneur? Can you be an entrepreneur? And the only way, in my opinion, that you can be a successful entrepreneur is to have some ability speaking. And by being persuasive, by being able to talk about what you're doing and explain what you're doing and show why it's a benefit to the people that you're working with. And it also makes this a long-term sustainable business because you're actually serving people rather than going out there to some old lady and trying to rip her off of the equity that she's got in her house that she was going to give to her grandkids. And if you can rip off that equity and make a chunk of money, great. I guess that's great. But you got to sleep with yourself at night. You got to live with yourself. And you want this to be sustainable, and you want to have a good name in your community. Even if you're in a huge town, it's still a fairly small community, and eventually people will get to know who you are, and you want to be able to keep that name solid. And I'm not going to say that people aren't going to not like you sometimes or say nasty things about you. That's kind of the way the world works. But if you work honorably, if you try to solve people's problems, if you try to get people where they need to go to help them understand what they need to do, then you'll be happy. And you do that because you're making money. That's the primary goal. But since you're helping other people, it makes it. One of my students, Jim Durrell, coined the phrase "the crying quotient." How many people cry? How many people, the buyers and sellers, cry at closing when we're working with them? One of the things we found over and over again is we'll go to a closing, and this is when we used to do it, actually physically show up. We do most of them remotely, but people would give us hugs and say, "I could never have bought a property without your help. I could have never done this without you doing this for us. Our credit wasn't good. We didn't have the income verification. Thank you so much for helping my family get into a house." And then sellers saying, I worked with realtors. I tried for sell by owner. I tried so many different ways and I couldn't get rid of my property, and you helped me get rid of that property. Thank you so much for solving that problem. And there's nothing that feels better than being able to hear those words and to know that you've had an impact on other people's lives. I, as a real estate teacher and as a mentor, I get that from my mentor students pretty frequently, saying, "Joe, thank you so much for allowing me to, teaching me the things I needed to know to allow me to get to quit my job, to be able to work less hours, to be able to take the vacations that I need to spend the time with my children and my family and watch them grow up and be at home when they came home from school. And what could be better than that kind of thing? So when you have a business that is doing honorable work, ethical work, it makes it fun. And when you're making a lot of money doing it, it makes it even more fun. And you want to continue doing it for a long, long time. So anyway, I guess my final word to you is I want to invite you to come work with me in my mentor program. I know I don't talk about selling my stuff on many of these videos, but that mentor program, it's like going to college. It's expensive. You can find out more about it by going to zerodowninvesting.com and spell out zero, and also go to joecrump.com/partner, all lowercase, and it explains how the mentor program works. It's like going to college. It's like paying to go to college for a semester. I send my kids to school, and I know how much it costs to just go for a semester, and that's about what it costs to go to college for a semester. And you get 6 months of my personal help through this process. You'll be talking to me personally. I'm going to walk you through this process. I'm going to give you a bunch of materials, and then we're going to get on a conference call. We do that every other week, and I do it with the entire group. That's when we'll be talking. It's a small group. Typically 10 to 20 people are on that call, and they ask me the questions that they have, that they've been dealing with. They talk about the deals they've been working on, the places, the roadblocks that they're running into, and I walk them through that process. We often do role playing, so I can teach them how to talk to people properly. Also, they can send me emails whenever they need to, as many emails as they need to, and I'm very good about getting back with people within 24 business hours. I don't work on weekends, but you send it on Friday, you get a response on Monday. Tuesday, you get it on Wednesday, and I'll respond to that. Every once in a while, I go out of town, and that takes me a little bit longer, but 90% of the time, you're going to get a response from me very quickly, so you can deal with the deals that you're working on. If you write up a deal and you have questions about it, or you want me to look over the paperwork, I'll do that. I'm not an attorney. I can't give legal advice, but I can look at your stuff and I can say, based on what I know and my experience, here's what I would suggest, changes that you might make or things that you might do, or this looks good, move forward with it. So those are the things that I can do to help you in this mentor program. I can show you how to use the auto marketer more effectively, how to systematize your business, how to build a portfolio, because building a business is one thing. That's going to make you income, and that's great. But if you want to get rich, the way you get rich is by building a portfolio, and that takes time. So you build your portfolio and you let it, pay for itself over time, and that's a wonderful thing. So that you can retire and you can give to your kids, and you can have a legacy that will serve on into the future. So. Anyway, my wish for you is that you succeed in whatever your heart desires, and I hope you'll come work with me and work with my group, and we can, go forward with this. Thanks now. Bye-bye.